With that.
Hi, Jennifer, come on in.
Hi, Richard. How are you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Come on in and have a seat, please. Quick question, though. I know that one of the handlers called you earlier, and did they not tell you we were going to do a little tour of the facility? I see, are those shoes comfortable that walk through our facility?
They are. They're wedges, and wedges are.
Well, you know, I don't know that much about women's shoes, so I just wanted to touch base about that. I've looked over your resume, and I've talked with some of the handlers and everything, so I have a few questions for you. Basically, you're going to be working for me. You'll be working very close with the other handlers, though. You're quite a bit overqualified for them, but we like that. We're really been looking for someone to work with our more exotic animals. We don't get them that often. We are in Texas. I see you do have experience with horses, so it's a good thing. So what I'd like to do is maybe go over why you really want to come work for a nonprofit organization when you can make a whole lot more money on the private sector.
Well, this is where my passion comes in. As you can see, I went to Colorado State, and the first job I had was at the equine rescue shelter. I got to work very closely with the police department in that facility, and we would rehabilitate them and then find them home. Some of them had to stay with us just due to the amount of trauma they were through. It's not good for people to be around at this point. But then I wanted to do something different, and I went to the circus. And that's where I met my first elephant, and looking in the eyes of the elephant is just amazing. That's where my love of exotic animals started, and then I went over to such things as impalas. Coming to Houston to work at the Houston Zoo was a big dream of mine because I'm from Houston. I'm from Texas. It's quite a bit different than working with our native animals. I had a breeding project about the soft-tailed gun from Australia, and the biggest challenge I had there was actually getting them to breed. I was in charge of the breeding program. And then I realized that their environment had to reflect the time of year that they would actually be mating. And we increased the size of the paddock a little bit. So those two things combined actually got them more ready to mate, and we've been successful with that. So it's just a love that I have.
And so what brings you to, I mean, I'm gonna put on the table, there is a considerable less income. We do provide housing because we will expect you to stay on the facility most of the time. It's a nice 3-bedroom home. The young ladies, I guess, had talked with you. I understand you do have children. How do you feel about coming and staying in a place where you're going to be actually me when I'm not around? So how do you feel about that?
Well, I've been successful enough in my past endeavors, and you know, I had the focus of making the income, but now that my children are older and they're going on their own ways, I have the ability to just take my skills and apply it to a passion. So I'm not motivated by money at this point. I'm financially secure, and I would love to be a part of something that I believe in and that I think that needs more public awareness. My experience with fundraising, I have that. I've been very, very successful in that, and I do understand that the organization, you know, does not have the funding that you guys would like, and I would like to offer that benefit as well. As far as being you when you're gone, that's very easy for me. You tell me what you want done, and it gets done, and it's just that simple. It's just that simple. However, I do have the experience being a doctor that we could even start an education program for the handlers to give them some basic skills to handle minor emergencies and such, so that you reduce that cost of having to pay for the doctor's salary. So I really feel like I have a lot to offer, and I'm very excited about the fact that you guys focus on rehabilitation and putting them back into the wild. That really isn't a situation that I've been able to be a part of up to this point. So that really rocks it for me. I like that.
One concern I have that I also have with the others, I know that you're more than qualified for this job. That's never been a question since I received your resume. Some of our handlers get attached to our animals. However, the animals that are coming here are not going to stay. We're trying to either A, if they're exotic, we want to get them back into the wild. Unfortunately, in most cases, when individuals bring animals over here, they hammer them. Tigers, for instance, when they declaw them, it's almost similar to taking our last digit of our finger off. They use that in so many ways that they can't. But we try to get them out to sanctuaries. One of the sanctuaries we work with really well is in the Ozarks. It's a tiger sanctuary or big cat sanctuary. Now, we have sent them some bears and a couple of coyotes that we've gotten from here. But are you willing to take on a job where you will fall in love with these animals and then lose them? Fall in love with these animals and lose them. Is this something that you foresee yourself being able to do in the long term?
I do. I mean, I started as a young child rescuing animals, you know, off sidewalks and stuff. And my love is for the animal in general, and I can't think of a better way to really show love to a creature than to give it respect and treat it well while it's in your care. But keep in mind that these are animals that are not domesticated, and the best thing that I can do for them is to help them get back to their natural habitat. So attachment won't be a problem, but in the same breath, I will still give lots of love and care.
Well, Jennifer, I'm pretty much a person that shoots straight from the hip. I am so impressed with you. I would really like to hire you on the spot. However, of course, that decision, like most decisions, are never just one person. I do have a couple of other interviews. We will be making a decision before the end of the week. But do you have some questions about us before we go out on a walk through our facility?
Well, I do. I'd like to ask, you know, where do you guys see this organization going? Like, what do you see for yourselves in 5 to 10 years?
Well, we started probably about 10 years ago, and we would have loved to see a lot more growth than we have. But of course, when you depend largely on donations, the economy plays a big factor in that. We have been able to stay modernized, which is my biggest concern, more than it is growth, and that's where I put my strength is in getting a company that's going to be able to do up-to-date work with these animals as opposed to taking 30 animals you can't take care of. We have basically had a 10% growth. However, our biggest issue with our donation is our big donors do not love to remain anonymous, and I understand their biggest concern with that is they receive ridicule. Why don't you put this money toward the people instead of animals? Well, animals don't have a voice. It's how we look at it. That's why we care. That's why what we do. So we are looking at growth, but that would probably be more like a 5% growth over a 2-year period. And again, it all depends on what we're able to bring in.
Okay. And as far as imaging, do you guys have CTs, MRI machines on the premises, or is that something that we have to outsource?
We actually, now that we have you, it's something we can look at in bringing into our facility. We have always outsourced or brought in voluntary vets that have worked with our animals because we didn't have a call for them on a full-time basis. But if we were able to get one, it would justify me asking for more money to say, you know, hey, I have someone who can operate and do all the work, so we can bring in, you know, look forward to something like that.
And I'd just like to ask a personal question.
Yes.
What skill is it of mine that has impressed you so much?
I would say that it's long-term with education. You've went out and you followed your dream from beginning to where you are now. Mine, not so much. I'm probably more able to bring in dollars, is how I was brought into this company. But you do fall in love with these animals, and it is hard to say goodbye. So I would say you're bringing in experience, and we're hoping to keep someone with your experience for a long term. Again, I do have a couple more interviews, but I'm super impressed with you right now. I'd love to take you for a tour of the facility and take a look around and just, you know, make sure that we're a perfect fit. And we can maybe talk about some other questions about animals in particular, and I can get a better feel for you.
Okay.
How about that?
That sounds great. Richard, I just want to thank you so much for your time,
Thank you.
and I do look forward to joining the staff.
Thank you.